Attorney Shaun Naidoo is back with us to take a look at a legal look at the stories, some of the stories in our news this morning. Shaun, welcome back in. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, JT. Good morning.
So we were just talking about, speaking of legal stories, the fact that Joe Biden has now signed the law that makes lynching a hate crime. First of all, one of the questions that was asked by somebody on our Facebook Live post this morning that we're doing right now, who's lynching these days anyway? And who thinks it's wrong to send somebody to jail for life if they murder somebody? Why do we need hate crime categories? What your thoughts as an attorney on this?
Well, first of all, I think it's a good thing. It finally passed through the Senate, and I think that's an important thing to understand on this lynching law is that the Senate and the House had to pass it in order for President Biden to put it into law. So I think when all the senators, all 102 of the senators agree on it, I think that means that it's an important that it passed. So if one person in 2020, I think it was Senator Rand, objected to it and it didn't pass into law. So I think that's an important thing to know is that all the senators were in agreement on this. That means both sides of the aisle, which is very rare there in Washington D.C.
I understand that, but I think we all agree as Americans that murder, whether it's lynching or shooting or stabbing, are horrible crimes, and you obviously hate the person you're killing if you're doing that intentionally. So my question really is it necessary to have hate crime categories when it comes to certain class of people?
I do think it's important, too, because remember, the murder if you're charged with murder, that's on the state law, under state law. And what this does is it adds another layer of protection under federal law. So now a person could be held accountable both on the state side and on the federal side. So I just think that it gives it more credibility. It gives it more power, and people, when they start seeing these and these things starting to be applied, I'm hoping that it will continue to be a deterrent for these type of things, because these type of things shouldn't be happening anyway. We're, so far removed from, lynching days and stuff, but there are still things that are happening. I'm here in Texas, and there's stuff that's happened here in Texas over the last 15, 20 years.
Well, let me ask you this. How do you feel about hate crimes when it comes to gangs killing each other in Chicago?
I think it should be applied across the board, JT. A hate crime is a hate crime. When it can be applied and you can, put the set of facts against the law, it doesn't matter what color the person is, what background it is. If it's a hate crime, it needs to be, prosecuted.
I agree with you. Yeah, I'm right there with you on the same page on that one. All right, Shaun, let's switch gears here. Speaking of class of people, Home Depot in Canada, this is kind of interesting here, sparking some outrage after they posted a notice to their employees about the benefits of white privilege and included a checklist for those who are white, male, Christian, cisgender, able-bodied, and heterosexual. I mean, this is it's kind of crazy that they're having to post something to the employees about all this. And what's the intent? Political correctness here and the social wave of where we are with all of this madness? I mean, what the heck is Home Depot doing this for?
Yeah, great question. I think the intent behind it is diversity and inclusion and trying to, bring awareness to it. But the way they went about it here in Canada, I think the wording on it is, incorrect, and it shouldn't have been done that way. But I think they're at the heart and the intent of Home Depot is to try to, bring diversity to the workforce, and maybe not even just to the workforce, but also when clients come in and customers come in, just training them on different things that could happen. That's the intent behind it, but it was just worded incorrectly.
I got to tell you, how about a law that just says be nice to people? I mean, if you want to train your employees, find somebody that worked for Disney and get them to come in and train your staff. I don't know if you've ever been to Disney before, Shaun, but my gosh, what an incredible group of people the employees are there. I went, and I never saw anybody in a bad mood. Everybody was treated like a king or a queen when they were there, and everybody felt good after that experience. It's unbelievable the difference between how those employees treat their customers at Disney versus pulling up to a drive-through any given city, any given time. It's just such a difference.
I agree with you. I think the two case studies should be Disney, and the other place I think does a great job of customer service is Chick-fil-A.
Amen to that. Amen.
You can learn a lot on just treating people correctly and how to use kind words when you're dealing with people. So I agree with you 100%.
All right, Shaun. Always good to check in with you. Thank you, Shaun Naidoo.